The village of Hollow Creek was a place of shadows even in daylight. Sunbeams struggled to pierce the ancient oaks that choked the valley. Nightfall brought a silence thick with unspoken dread. Villagers bolted their doors, huddling around flickering hearths. They whispered of the old road winding up Widow's Hill, a path swallowed by darkness. No one dared speak her name aloud, but in the hushed tones reserved for curses and prayers, they told the legend, the Faceless Woman. She wandered the old road, they said, her sorrow a palpable thing. Some claimed she searched for a face stolen by grief, others for souls to steal in turn. The stories were old as the gnarled roots clawing at the churchyard. Children grew up with them, the warnings woven into lullabies. See her, and you lose your mind to the night, or worse, your very self vanished without a trace. Yet in the heart of every tale, a seed of doubt must be sown. For what is fear, if not a challenge to the young and foolish? They were 4 boys, barely more than children. Thomas, the blacksmith's son, strong but slow. Caleb, the miller's boy, quick-witted and nimble. Young Daniel, the baker's son, prone to flights of fancy. And finally, Samuel, the son of the village priest, harbouring a secret hunger for the forbidden. It was Samuel, eyes bright, with a dangerous curiosity, who first whispered of seeking the truth. The legend had taken root in their imaginations, fueled by whispered stories and nervous glances towards Widow's Hill. Was she real, this faceless woman? Or just a tale to keep children from mischief? The question hung in the air, daring them to seek an answer. A challenge whispered on the wind, and the boys, their blood quick with youthful bravado, were ready to answer. The old road was worse than they imagined. The oaks closed overhead, branches like skeletal fingers against the bruised sky. Moonlight, fractured and weak, painted the path in shades of grey and black. The wind, usually their playful companion, now moaned through the trees like a mournful spirit. With each step, the village seemed to shrink behind them, their bravado fading with the fading light. Still they pressed on, their youthful arrogance slowly giving way to a gnawing fear. The silence was broken only by the crunch of dry leaves underfoot, each rustle sending shivers down their spines. They told stories to keep their spirits up, tales of daring knights and mythical beasts. But the words rang hollow in the stillness of the night. Even Samuel, the instigator, felt a chill creep into his heart. The air grew colder as they climbed, the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves thick in their nostrils. Then Daniel, his eyes wide with terror, stumbled. "Look!" he gasped, pointing a trembling finger. There in the distance a figure stood shrouded in mist, tall and slender. It swayed slightly as though buffeted by an unseen wind. No features were visible, just a void where a face should be. The following morning, a chill deeper than usual settled over Hollow Creek. The rising sun, usually a welcome sight, did little to pierce the sense of unease that clung to the village like cobwebs. The villagers whispered, their voices hushed and fearful. The boys were gone. They were found later that day, huddled together near the ancient moss-covered stones of the cemetery. They were alive, but just barely. Their eyes were vacant, staring into some unseen distance. Their faces were masks of unspeakable horror, frozen in silent screams. None of them spoke again. No words passed their lips, only whimpers and moans that echoed the mournful cry of the wind on Widow's Hill. The villagers, their faces grim, took them back to the safety of their homes. Doctors were summoned, but their potions and pronouncements were useless. The boys remained trapped in their own silent hells, the memory of that night seared into their minds. Whether it was the cold or fear, or the touch of something otherworldly, no one could say. But one thing was certain. The legend of the faceless woman was no longer just a tale whispered around dying fires. It was a chilling reality, a stark reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of the light. And in the village of Hollow Creek, the night had claimed its victims.